Hello Internet, how's it going? Andre here from Double Down Guitar, and today we have a different type of video. This is not a practice log. If you're new to the channel, I post these practice logs usually once a week. I'm going to try to do more, but in these practice logs I practice stuff and in front of you, and it's one take, a bunch of mistakes in the stuff that I'm talking about, a bunch of mistakes in my playing. I think that's very important and refreshing to have in a world of, perfection in social media. But anyways, today is not a practice log, even though I'm probably not going to do many takes for this. This is the first one. Let's see if I can get through the whole video without, having a reason to have to start over. We're going to be talking about the minor 6 arpeggio. In my opinion, it's the most important arpeggio to have under your fingers. So much of the sound is based on the minor 6 arpeggio, and let me make sure I have my levels right. There's so many applications for this arpeggio, and I'm gonna have to do a separate video for it because I don't want this one to get super long. In this one I'm gonna talk about how to visualize and how to practice. I'll still have a little bit of application, but I'm gonna probably save that for the second video, so this is not super long. So we're gonna go over how to visualize it first, and I made a PDF for this. Look at me, there's 10% more effort in this video than the usual that you see here on the channel. I made it's a 2-page PDF. Actually it's a PNG for before I get corrected by one of you haters. I'm just kidding. This is going to be on my Discord because I don't know how to post this link anywhere else. I'm not forcing you to be on the Discord. If you don't want to join the Discord, send me a message, I guess, and I can send this to you. If Discord to you sounds like alien technology and you have no idea what it is, you can also send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or send me an email, a fax or something, and I will send this back to you. Just make sure you tell me that you're looking for this. Great. So how do I visualize the minor 6 arpeggio? How do I know my positions? There are 5 positions to this, and I use the root every single time to identify the position that I'm playing. Later on in positions that, for example, if we're looking at the D position, you will see that some notes are missing, but I think it's more important to identify it quickly at first than to have all the possible notes in a position. And once again, I'm going to go over how to practice this. If you went ahead and downloaded this and you're already going over every single position, making sure that you know all of them and you're already shifting between them, you're doing this wrong, in my opinion. You're doing yourself a disservice, because I think you really need to explore each position before you move on into a new one. So what is this in front and behind business? If you're playing, so from the E string, root on the E string, let's say we're talking about A minor. This is my root. If the position is here, I say that that's in front. It looks like this. I'm playing the first one. To where if I'm saying behind, it's this one. Okay, so it's just a way to kind of know what position we're talking about, but the identifier is this one. Okay, root on the E. There's going to be root on the A, so that for A happens to be fret 12, and I have a position in front and I have a position behind. Okay, why did I include the D position here? Well, this one is so close to the one on the E string that might as well, I didn't want to put one by itself, but it's also so close to the one on the E string that it's worth just kind of having in the same page. The root is red. All the other notes of the arpeggio are green, and you should play it in order, by the way. So it's A, C, E, F sharp. Then you repeat A, C, E, F sharp, A, C, E, F sharp. Do you have to memorize those notes? No, you don't. If you don't know them, don't worry about it. You can learn them at some point, but you don't need to know every single note. Now, if you don't know the notes on the low E and A, you probably should, and you should start with the dots. That would be very, very helpful at first. You don't need to, because I remember trying to learn everything at once and it was not helpful to me. But if you can learn what's on the dots first, right? And if you have a funny gypsy jazz guitar with a dot on 10, that doesn't matter. Just learn the dots. It actually makes even more sense because then you have a D and a G instead of a C sharp and F sharp. But I digress. So, download this, but let's go over how to practice, how I think you should practice. If you don't want to listen to me, shame on you. I'm just kidding. Just do you, but really, I think it's much better to work on one position at a time, and there are tools to help us with that. So if I switch here, wow, look at me having the links prepared. This is so unusual. There are backing tracks on YouTube that are one chord. So one chord, and we're gonna do one position. I'm gonna do the position, the first position you see on the PDF. And I'm just gonna mess around with it. If there's two notes on the same string, I might connect them like this, grammatically. Later on, we'll talk about like enclosures, like tendencies, things that sort of happen a lot in the style. But at first, let's get this thing down. I'll show you how to do it. It's gonna go up and down, nothing too fancy. This video is 5 minutes long. If you stick to it in one position, I bet you by the end of the video, you're gonna be a lot more comfortable in that position. And we do that first before trying to play all the positions. We don't get paid by position, by the way, guys. It's better to have one position that you have good stuff to say, enough good material on, than 5 positions, but it takes you forever to kind of know where you are. There's no extra credit for extra position. There's no extra money for for position either. There's very little extra money actually going around in jazz, so don't try to find that with a new position. It's not going to work. Trust me, I tried. Anyway, so once you do one, then maybe you can try. If you did the E string in front, which you should have, then maybe you do the one behind. There's already going to be, I already foresee like jokes with this in front and behind thing, just, anyways. So you do the one in front, the one behind, maybe then you do the D string, right? And then you try to combine those. And then we go to the A string root, there's one in front, one behind, and then you have all 5 positions. That's all you need to know. So that's the beauty of the guitar, I guess, right? So just to recap, root on the E string. Let's say we're looking for A, 2 positions, one in front, one behind. Also really close to the position that's on the D string, and there's only a position in front. A string root, just like the E, one in front, one behind. And that should be all the positions. Once again, practice one position at a time. Get good at that one before you move on to the next. I'm going to show you just a little bit of application today because I want to, but there's going to be a new video talking about just applications, and there's a ton actually for the minor 6. It's super versatile. Should we do the 2-5? Yeah, why don't we do the 2-5? So one that's very simple here, when you see a 2-5-1, if you don't know what a 2-5-1 is, you can just learn that as a sound, memorize that as a sound, and later the theory can come later. This is a Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. It's been anyway, sorry, let's get back to to this. Yeah, you don't have to know what it is. D minor, G7. If you see a minor 7 chord next to a dominant chord, in other words, just a 7, like it could say A7, D7, letter plus 7, that's most likely a 2-5-1. But once again, you can learn it by the sound. Maybe you can learn it by the shape it does on the guitar. If maybe you're doing this, or if you memorize those two shapes, you'll probably, learn this quickly. But anyways, when you see this sequence of chords, you can just play over these two D minor 6, okay? And it's gonna work. So let me play something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, I don't want to make this video super long of me just noodling, but yeah, I just played 2 bars of D minor 6 and then 2 bars of C major, and we'll do the C major video at some point. Cool. What else can we do? How about we do a minor 4 sound? Ooh, so fancy. So in other words, I'm going to take this first chord, the D minor, that once again works for the D minor and G7, and I'm going to play D minor, F minor, and then I'm going to go to C. And if you don't know what the minor 4 is, well, if you're on that first chord, the minor chord of the 2-5-1, and you go 3 frets up with the same shape, you will get the minor 4. Later on, you should probably just maybe use this as this trick to identify what the minor 4 is, and then try different positions. So the order goes 1 position of the minor 6 to 2 positions of the minor 6, the same chord I'm talking about, to then, once you feel good about all 5, then you can start shifting from different chords, right? Connecting different chords and that sort of stuff. But make sure you have build a strong foundation for your house, right? You don't want to have a flimsy foundation. Take your time with the fundamentals. I think it's just way more valuable. I don't know if you guys can hear all this. There's a lot of things happening on the streets, and it's loud. Hopefully you can't hear that. Hopefully the noise cancellation is taking care of that. So let's apply that. So D minor for a little bit, F minor for a little bit, C major.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just a little bit. I don't want to make this video too long. And again, if you wanna, I want to go over more applications on the second video that's to come. So stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe. Maybe I already said that. I'm repeating myself, but I honestly sometimes can't remember. My memory is I would say about, I have 10 minutes of it. So these videos usually go over 10 minutes, so I might repeat myself. Anyways, if you enjoyed the content, the PDF, all that stuff, please do leave a like, sub, all that stuff. And if you want to be a real hero, share the video with somebody. And that's all I got for you for today, and I will see you next time.